Dr. Howard Schneider has been called the worst dentist in America and a monster by more than 100 parents. This Florida pediatric dentist is accused of torturing children in his chair and doing unnecessary dental work to milk Medicaid out of millions. Schneider denies all the allegations, but Christopher Rousseau says he witnessed the torture firsthand on his son CJ.
They're really just roughing him up, forcing his mouth shut, making his mouth bleed. Then they take him back from there over to a room to clean his mouth and to take out a rotten tooth, to drill it out and give him a crown.
14-year-old CJ is blind and deaf, can't talk, and has several other physical limitations. But his dad says CJ clearly communicated his pain.
Not one time did they give him anything for pain medicine.
What? They didn't give him pain medicine when they drilled?
Not once. And then when he went to do the crown, again, no pain medicine. And then that's where I just had a fit.
Rousseau says he confronted Dr. Schneider, and the dentist pushed back.
Well, he says that I have no right. Basically, my son's gonna come to him no matter what. If I don't bring my son to the dentist, Children's and Families will come, arrest me. He threatens you with the law.
Attorney John Phillips represents the Rousseaus and 80 other families claiming malpractice.
So he threatened the parents if they challenged him, right?
Certainly. I'll call DCF on you.
DCF is the Department of Children and Families, which investigates child welfare.
And one by one, he would intimidate parents.
Phillips says parents of children with special needs had nowhere else to turn because Schneider was on Florida's Medicaid referral list as a dentist who specialized in children with disabilities. Christopher Rousseau says he didn't have a choice.
Jacksonville is set up where the only dentist that takes pediatrics with disability is Dr. Schneider. There is no other dentist you can send him to. The only other place you can call is Gainesville, and they have almost a year-long waiting list.
And that's an hour and a half away.
At least.
Schneider became, Medicaid's endorsed guy here in town.
Crosby?
This is 11-year-old Thomas Denace and his service dog Crosby. Thomas is autistic and has epilepsy, yet Dr. Schneider didn't allow his mother or his service dog to be by his side in the exam room.
So you were all by yourself?
Susan Denace says Thomas was severely traumatized by being restrained in something called a papoose board. Thomas panicked, especially when Schneider sprayed water in his mouth.
He tried to drown me.
What were you scared of?
He was gonna hurt me.
Thomas started getting anxious during our interview as he recounted what happened to him. So we stopped a few times to let Crosby do what he does best, calm a little boy. After the break, Thomas told me the rest of what happened.
He punched me on the shoulder and I didn't like it.
Turns out Thomas was not the only child restrained in a papoose board without parental permission. Dominic and Zion were too. Papoose boards are used in pediatric dentistry in certain cases, but dentists must get the parents' permission. Phillips says children were routinely restrained so the dentist could work faster and get more patients in the door, like a factory.
If you're doing this for every procedure, it's again unwarranted, abusive dentistry.
So how is it possible all of these alleged abuses could have gone on for decades without an uproar? Were parents that scared? Or did the system look the other way? Or perhaps a little of both?
I've heard that for years, parents have complained to different people, but nobody did anything. So it's as if they gave them a license to go abuse and hurt and maim kids.
There was something going on inside this dentist's office because a review of police records reveals the cops were called here almost 200 times over the last 20 years for a variety of problems, complaints, vandalism, arguments, even a death threat against the dentist.
Crime Watch Daily searched Florida court records, and we found a lawsuit from 1996 that sounds eerily similar to the complaints we are hearing today. A mother sued Schneider for $15,000 for unnecessary dental treatment and disfigurement of her 5-year-old son. The case was settled, and Schneider's insurance company paid out $7,500.
There's been a series of complaints about Dr. Schneider. but they never went anywhere.
A check of the Florida Department of Health shows that as recently as April of 2015, the Department of Health insisted Dr. Howard Schneider has a clear and active license with no public complaints or discipline on file. How could that be? Well, that all changed when one mother got mad as hell and went on a rant on Facebook.
He messed with the wrong baby, that's what he did.